Shout out to Discord member Minnie of the Digital Borough Discord, as we just had him on for episode 57 of the Rose Skull podcast, but he let me in on a very interesting theory. So, people are saying that Shanks got his arm chomped off by the Lord of the Coast because that arm had a mark of the Abyss on it, which allowed him to use the magical circles that the Holy Knights use for teleportation. This is a very interesting theory because in chapter 1140, we see that Saint Summers of House Shepherd has a very interesting mark on his arm that looks like the magic circle that we've been seeing a lot. What's also very interesting about this is that we see the same mark on a ship called the St. Breeze, which was the dilapidated ship that fell from the sky at the start of the Jaya arc. What I think this mark means is that this is a general mark to indicate a passport for travel via the power of the Abyss, because it kind of looks like the cursor you would see on some sort of map app or something like that, or on a map itself to indicate where you are. Almost like an equivalent to X marks the spot, but not quite. So I think what the tattoo is that with this tattoo, I can both send people to and go to wherever this mark is located. Mark meaning the outer ring, which is the magic circle. And then I guess that inner part is just customized based on who is using the mark of the Abyss at that time, because the 5 elders have a slightly different one from the one we see Shamrock and Gunko use. So with that being said, what's so interesting about the St. Breeze is that too could be a celestial dragon name, probably a first name as opposed to a house name, because Saint is always accompanied by the person's actual name, like Saint Summers, for example. It's very perplexing that Shanks had a mark of the Abyss on his missing arm, because in chapter 907, he appears in Marijois to talk to the 5 elders about a certain pirate. So maybe he has more than one, or he could have just been let in because of his family namesake and how good his standing his family seems to be in, because of course his father at that time was the leader of the Holy Knights, and then his brother was probably a very high standing officer in the Holy Knights. So maybe he just has it like that because his family has a lot of leeway in the Holy Land. I don't know, but it's certainly something to think about, and I could buy that the reason why he let his arm be eaten by a Sea King was to get rid of the mark of the Abyss. What's also very interesting about all of this is that I believe in One Piece, there's a lot of coming full circle, not to make the pun, but there's a lot of coming full circle with certain themes. And at the start of One Piece, we start off with a serpentine sea beast, right? And I think we're going to end with a serpentine sea beast in Emu. And I made a video about that. But to tie that into the topic of today's video, it's very interesting that the St. Breeze has a figurehead that looks like a sea beast, a very serpentine one that resembles a snake or perhaps some sort of eel, very reminiscent of the Lord of the Coast or the bearded snake that we meet in Jaya and then Skypiea. Very interesting indeed. But with that being said, give me your thoughts and tell your friends about Polypede Works.